Listen, Mo, I'm going to say this because it needs to be said. I don't know what it is with African sports entities this year and their propensity of dropping news in late hours on our side of the world, but I'm getting tired of it, okay? I am getting tired of it, okay? I want to just come to my computer, to my stream casually and just be like, listen, let's just talk about the 10 teams working for that. What's that now? Morocco gets what? Oh, Morocco gets the calf now. Oh, okay. And then it's like, okay, 3 weeks later, okay, we're cool, we're calm. Okay, cool. Yeah, friendlies happening. I'm sorry, what's this now? Ghana just fired their coach. Oh, uh, okay, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then right where we're about to go in, now it's looking like what? Joachim Low? Joachim Low?
Somebody wants to get paid.
You know what I'm gonna say on that point? Oh yeah, guys, welcome to the Africans. Canadian African content. We're talking about the African stuff here. We are. How many coaches are we still paying? How many coaches? How have we paid? You know what? I'm pulling it because someone sent this to me. I was just like, yeah, that tracks. That's us, unfortunately. That tracks. Word.
Yeah, and when he says we, he's talking about Ghana because
yes,
the other country, African country, has took care of that.
Yeah. So this is the stat for you, right?
Oh boy.
In his tenure, Kurt Okraku, who is the GFA president, has
Right.
paid over $800,000 in severance packages to coaches let go. Charles Akwana, CK, Milovan Rajovac, Chris Hutton, and now Otto Addo. And now you're gonna go pay Joachim Low? What? Where is this money?
And that 800K is not a severance pay for him. That's probably his salary.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised. I bet you, like, it's all the World Cup money. It's all World Cup money.
I'm sure.
If I hear about a board member who gets paid going to this World Cup because and we're paying severance packages to coaches, no. See, now I'm throwing my phones at things. Now I'm throwing my phone at people. Like I cannot.
You
really?
think they do that for free? What?
Yes. For the love of the game. For the love of the game.
Yes. For the love of the game.
Yo, it's gotta be for the love of the game. Yo, I can't. Listen. So what we're actually here to do, I know 4 minutes and we haven't even told you why we're here at this point. No, what we're here to do is we're here to talk about, we now know all the African teams going to the World Cup. Congratulations to DRC. You guys made it. It wasn't the prettiest game, but you got it over the line multiple times. Also staying on sides, theme of the game for them. Couldn't do it. But
they were excited.
That makes 10 African sides at a World Cup, which, I mean, for us, that's some pride right there. And teams that there's some exciting aspects of it, There's some newcomers. And I know we put Senegal and Morocco because due to recent events, you guys are basically joined at the hip forever. You can never say one without the other now. So it's like,
Mhm.
yeah, what's Senegal doing? Also, speaking of Senegal, I'm contractually obligated to ask what's going on with Morocco as well.
Yeah.
We're gonna try to talk and go through. I know we just had some friendly, so some teams look better. I mean, Cote d'Ivoire with what they did to South Korea, they're like, okay, yeah, we haven't forgot about you.
Mhm.
Senegal also, parading trophies.
No, the trophy.
Parading a trophy,
Yes.
the trophy of trophies. We're here to talk about looking at the African sides. Some of them had friendlies. I mean, we had Tunisia up here in Toronto, so that
Yes.
was a good, fun side to see how they performed against both Haiti and Canada. But the question is, we're looking at how the African teams will do. How do we think they'll do? And we can kind of incorporate what happened with their friendlies over the time as well to talk about. We got Mo Football here because Mo Football TV here. I'm sorry, the media mogul man himself,
All right.
the Mo Football. Give this man AI, and now he's just like, listen, automated messages. Listen, peasants. This man's
Hey,
living the.
time is
Uh,
money. Money is time, and we don't have much of either one. So
hey, spend time with the family. That's all that matters, man.
yes.
That's all that matters. But as we said before, we have 10 African nations at this World Cup. And something that we said at the draw, and something that we said even during AFCON when we were watching, you're going to have a lot of African teams who are coming into this, getting who have tournament experience, but also just came off of a tournament and high playing in high weather situations. What heat for us?
Nothing.
It's literally a Tuesday. I know it's Thursday today, but it's literally Tuesday for us. But before we start going through the teams, you see the teams, the African teams which are there. We have it on our thumbnail. You have South Africa, Cap Verde, Cote d'Ivoire, DRC, Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, Senegal, Ghana. There's a 10th one out there. I know I'm forgetting. Who's the 10th one?
Uh,
How did I just forget the
did we
10th
just
one?
start trouble? We only
Oh
talk
no, we're
about.
not gonna get in trouble. We're not gonna get in trouble here. We have those 10 countries.
Oh,
Egypt.
yeah,
Yo,
poor
don't
people.
don't you forget about Mo. Listen, we all forgot about Mo, but having Mo here. But we list those 10 teams there, right? I know we have Senegal and Morocco that are in the title. But for you, if you have to give before we get into like what they did this past window, if you have to give like your top three African countries you think can do something really special at this World Cup this summer, who are your top three?
Mm, I guess the two usual suspect, and the other one is a toss up between Algeria and Egypt for me.
Interesting. Why those? Why one of those two?
Because I think there might be a little bit more. I guess people are not as familiar with their game, right? Because
Mm,
when we're talking about like European, when we're talking about North American, South American, you know which are the teams that they're kind of picking, right? And they kind of pick, one or two countries from the West, one or two from the East, one North. But Algeria, maybe, and Egypt have not had the stature that other country wants to play with or against them to test to say, hey, we need to play against these two countries to get ready for the World Cup, right? So
fair. Yeah.
everybody's
I
trying
think
to get the
in
blueprint of
yeah.
what Senegal, Morocco, all those blueprints are pretty much out now because they all wanted to play against them. Egypt is like we have Mo
Yeah.
Salah,
Hey, put some
and
respect
then
on the more Marmouche. Put some respect on Marmouche.
he is, but as like it's like the Salah's last dance, right? Marmouche is still in the supporting cast of Salah.
Okay.
But then after that, Algeria, then you have Mahrez, that is his last dance. And when it comes to World Cup, that weighs a lot more than what people can think of when it comes. So that's why those two are like my two sleepers.
That's fair. That's fair, and I can see that. I think it'll be interesting to see how they are. I think even a team like DRC, like Democratic Republic, uh, the Congo, I think African teams stylistically can be physical enough in this World Cup, and will have all the counter opportunities. I think we're gonna. I think those teams. I think a lot of African teams will stamp and have a lot of fun games. I think when we look back at this World Cup, we're gonna look and say, okay, there's a lot of fun games, and most of them happen to have an African team in them. I think DRC is gonna have some good games. Um, we'll get to all the teams and kind of what
Yeah.
they did, because I think there's some aspects that you have to be excited about. I mean, we'll start with Senegal here. I mean, a 2-0 win over Peru in their window, and then you you took your neighbors. Hey, Gambia's coming, but they have yet to arrive here as of now. But
Right.
those two games, you look at what they did into those games. Like, how are you feeling about what you got from Senegal in this window? 2-0 over Peru, and then 3-1 over Gambia. Kind of letting little brother know again that, yeah, you're coming, but you're not quite here yet.
Yeah,
You're
it
not
was more
quite
of a,
here
like
yet.
a celebration of it because you could see him
Mhm.
even in the presser and all that. It was more camaraderie and talking, and they all will be supporting Senegals anyways. So,
Yeah.
but I think what was surprising to me the most is that those two friendlies, they used them to give playing time to those that didn't have the opportunities. Because as you can
Yeah.
see, Sadio was not playing, right?
No, he
Jackson
was
got a
not
few little
playing.
bit of time, right? So everybody, if you watch the Gambia ones, was which is kind of funny to say this third string guys, which a
Yeah.
lot of them are starters in Europe, play against Gambia. The starting 11 against Peru, I think, was a little bit more stacked, but the big staples were not. So it was more of a you guys show me what you have because you're probably battling for minutes for the second row.
No,
And
yeah,
that
and
was
that's
quite
fair.
surprising
Yeah.
that they were able to play this well, even especially with
Mm.
Peru. Because if you watch the game, the fluidity that they had against Morocco was still translating with Peru. So now that means, hey, you're able
Hmm.
to play against a South American team that way. So that's your style of play. That's what Senegal's style of play is going to look like. And they pretty much kind of breeze to their friendlies, technically.
No, no, and that's fair as we look at the lineup that they had here for versus Peru. I think their fluidity and what they showed is gonna be very fun, because like there's a story with this friendlies what I was thinking about, because they have France in their group. And I remember like when France played Colombia, the story of that game is just, oh, they played Colombia with basically a rotated squad. Like, oh, that's your bench. Oh, cool. That must be nice. I'd like to have depth that deep too. But I think there's a reality when you look at Senegal, when you look at how not only strong the starting 11 is. Like, they could be if they wanted to. I don't think they will, but they could be as deep as they wanted to, where they could let players play, and then, oh, if everything's not working well, okay, let's just bring on Sadio. Something's not going well. Do you want to come in and just stable this? You want to just stable this ship here so that we can get through these games? Or they could just say, listen, Sadio, you've been here before, and that's the thing. Like, Sadio not being healthy for them the last World Cup really limited what they could do. They end up losing to England in the round of 16. But I think if he's healthy, they at least give more of a fight to that England side. And, as their reward, they're put in the group with, like, oh, by the way, here's Norway and France for you guys. Everyone's healthy. Great. We're gonna put you against arguably
Yeah.
the deepest team here, and then the team with the name that everyone knows. So, there's your prize. Go collect your 200, and then go enjoy it.
And yeah,
But
and from what you
yeah.
saw, right,
Mhm.
with the England game, right? After that game, if you look at their squad now, do you see how many Senegalese players are now playing in the EPL?
Mm.
So now it makes the
They
big
yeah.
change. Now they're prepared them for the style of play of what those English guys. And I think that's what technically friendlies are supposed to be like, right? You figure out where your players are playing, which countries you possibly going to play against,
Mhm.
and then you send some of them there.
No, of course. And I think that's where it gets really fun and fascinating to see what they're able to do. But again, I don't think it's hyperbole to say I think Senegal, and then we'll get to the other team. I was going to try to do this in order, but again, this never
Yeah.
works. The chaos goes on. They have an interesting group because we now know who the fourth member of their group is. It is Iraq, who beat Bolivia in their intercontinental playoff. And so with that, you have now Iraq, Norway, France, and Senegal, which that's a fun group. It still is
Yeah.
a fun group. Well, listen, I will watch your tears and jubilation very intently this summer as I sit in back, be like, go team, go team, go.
Yeah.
Listen,
I won't be talking
but
to anybody for that game.
that's fair. But like the group makes it difficult. But do you still think, even if they're able to get out of the group, I mean, we'll have to reseed everything and figure out where everyone is. So it's hard to say they'll be playing winners of Group X. Like I no, it's reseeded.
Yeah.
But if they're able to get out of this group, do you think that competition will get them prepped for whatever's coming their way come the round of 32, then 16? For you, for Senegal, what do you think is what's the minimum for them that they have to achieve for this World Cup to be a success? For you as a fan.
At this point, for the whole continent, to be able to stop the narrative that Morocco is the best country, best African team, you have to make it to the semifinals.
Okay, so semifinals is your benchmark for them then.
I the way they've played recently, how they play Morocco and all that, I think that should be the staple because there's the battle of who's the best African team in the continent. And
Mm-hmm.
right now, the standard where they've put it is the last one that did it, and it's Morocco. So
Yep,
there will always will be that. Well, you didn't make it to the semifinals.
that's fair. They did set the benchmark, and because of that, now everyone is chasing that next level. It used to be the
Yeah.
quarterfinals, and you got three Africans who did it, but now it's the semifinals. I think I can accept that. I think that's a fair acceptance of it. It's a big bar to get through
Oh yeah.
because how the reseeding is going to work and how it's going to move, but it's a very it's a high bar to reach. It's not impossible. I think if any African team can do it, I think it's either going to be Senegal or Morocco, just based off of the depth and playing style. And I think Senegal looks good now. I won't go to Morocco next because I'm just going to follow this list in some weird way, and we're going to kind of talk about Algeria. No, you know what? No, we're going to talk about Morocco. You're joined at the hips. You have
Damn.
you, listen till death do you part. But yes, for everyone who's
Oh,
dropping by here, the question for you is very simple. Which African nation, give me your top three African nations you think will perform the best this summer of the 10 that are qualified and will be playing, that is. We see Fairy Fail Central, always good. Yes, Viva l'Algérie. I see you. Senegal are the true African champions. Legally,
my
I'm
God.
required to let you know that it's still 3-0. Due to legal
No,
purposes, I have to let you know it's 3-0.
technically, according to Cass, that also does not hold. There's no one at this moment.
That's true. That's true. Lord, for a reason, I see you. Thank you for stopping by. Hey, we appreciate the DRC support you gave us. Look, it was good times, fun times for that. But
Hey, I called it. They said they were gonna win.
I called it too. I didn't enjoy how people were like, "Are you wearing yellow for Jamaica?" I'm like, "It's a Ghana kit, guys. Come on." It's a Ghana. You can see the Ghana kit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, it's cutting off the logo because there's a little bit of shame I have for them right now, but it's still the star is still present. Look, leave me be.
Oh boy.
But let's get to them. Let's talk about Morocco real quick here because I think they're, like you said, they are the standard now. They are the pace setters for African countries at the World Cup. that is them, and there's nothing wrong with them. They had also a good window, a draw versus Ecuador, and then a win versus Paraguay. We're going to highlight the Paraguay win for them, but the thing with them that I like is they when you have a nation that has a system of play and you can plug, you were playing U20s, hey, get up to this you senior team, it's going to play. You need a coach who wants to know how to play that style. You get U17s can jump up to the senior team, same system of play. They are a machine in the best type of way in terms of everyone on all those levels. You can plug and play them and they can still be successful. They know their principles of movement, they understand their principles of what they're trying to achieve, and they are going to, in a tournament, I think they're going to find their form. And like that's a thing that I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that once they get there, they will eventually find their form and play well. I know they are the team that you look at, that they're always going to be compared right now.
Yep.
But from what you saw or what you read for what Morocco did this window, what did you like? What are your concerns? And give me your overall thoughts with what they've done this window here.
I don't know if we say that the window was as good maybe as you saw it,
Mhm.
because I think especially coming into this World Cup, they were still struggling to beat those two teams, right? And it's a
Mhm.
one, and I think that was almost like the joke that was happening here. Is like they showed every African teams that were playing in the friendlies. The first game, everybody won, but Morocco. So luckily, they've won the second one. But I think there's still that AFCON final thing that's still lingering a little bit
That
for
hangover over
Morocco.
that whole game, and that's
Yes,
fair. I think that's fair,
and
and yeah.
they're caught even more so than Senegal. They're caught in the middle of it, and I'm wondering at this point is even with all these legal things, how much is that impacting the team in general? Right? Because there's some that
Mm.
are saying, yeah, we're the champs. Some say they aren't. There's all of the discussion. And the first thing people ask them is if you feel like the champion or so. I think that aspect of thing is still lingering a little bit because from what I saw in those games, and then their fans turning on them again for liking post, I'm sure that
Yeah.
also does not help. So I didn't see as much fun that the Moroccan have playing soccer. These two games did not really show me
Mhm.
that. And then you're what? Maybe we're 2 games away from the
The
World Cup.
Yeah,
They got to get that groove. And the coach is, even though
yes,
the
the coach
coach
work.
is from the system as well, I'm not sure if, the switch of the coaches, the relationship they had with the previous one
Yeah.
that has won a lot. I don't know if that's still there. Maybe that's why their play was a little
Mhm.
hesitant. But
That's a
I think
fair
they've
point.
thrown a
It
lot
could
of
be
it
the
on
same
at them.
system, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, it threw too much
Like,
at
the
them.
thing
Now it's tapis vert and new
Yeah.
coach. And as a competitor, it's good that they're having some troubles, but also they're representing Africa at the World Cup,
Mhm.
and we don't want neither of those 10 teams to crash out just for non-sporting things.
No, that's true, and I think the point you make about the cloud that's over them, they lost their coach, you have everything that's going on with AFCON there. It's a fair point that, oh, and this is the first time they're back together finally. You
Right.
could, like you said, I think the point that I was trying to get to, I couldn't word it well, but then I finally got to it. It could be the same system, but the voice does matter sometimes, right? And sometimes a voice that understands those moments, a voice that can calm you or say the right thing to motivate you in those moments will matter. And like ultimately, that coach was a coach from the federation had wanted, right? If you remember in 2022, they had their North American tour. They were run off the pitch by the US. I watched that
Yep.
game and I was just like, because as a Canadian, I was just like, okay, if this is how Morocco's gonna look, maybe maybe we can get like our first win or something. It didn't happen. Trust me, it did not happen. But watching that was the story with them, and then they finally got a coach they were very pragmatic. They made their way to the finals, but everything over them is a fair point to bring up. Okay, maybe a little bit of grace for you guys here, I think, is fair in this situation, and just to see what it is. I think I want to know what happens for them, especially when they get closer to the World Cup, what they do with the coaching situation. I don't think after you let that coach go, I don't think you can bring him back. But I kind of wish they would. It would be egg on the face by the federation, but I think that coach is getting the most out of them I mean, if you look at Africa as a whole, them and Senegal are probably one of the two federations that can walk into any camp and just say, "Hey," or any team, any player who's thinking about it, just say, "Hey, you are talented. This is where we see you. Do you want in or not?"
Yeah.
Right? I think those two federations can do that or probably the only ones who can really do that without having to convince someone. And maybe there's some other ones that'll come through. I mean, I know DRC
Uh,
have been them
yeah, but at this
DRC.
point, it's like Morocco and Senegal are the two that literally are going in France, have kids that've
Yeah.
gone through the system all the way to like 18,
Mhm.
and they're flipping with almost not that much hesitance. And we've not seen that in African
Yeah.
soccer almost ever, where you can take a kid that never lived in Morocco or Senegal that just gone there on vacation, and you make them flip by
That's true.
flipping at PSG as the number one, and he's not even 20.
It's big.
Like,
It's
it's
huge.
unheard of
Yeah.
for African soccer.
Mhm.
And Morocco has pulled the same thing, even in their 15 and 17, when they have
Yep.
kids from either Spain, France, all that going into their youth national team. That's There's nothing to.
No, it's true. There's nothing that you
It's
can really look
impressive.
back bad on it. No, for sure. And if you look at their group, I mean, they also have another big high profile group where it's them, Brazil, Haiti, and Scotland. I'd say Brazil is really the Brazil is the anchor store. Like if this was a mall, Brazil is the Walmart, and then you're like, wait, well, Morocco are like, no, 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 don't overlook us. We're the good restaurant with good eats. Okay, don't you overlook us. Okay, and the Scots are just like the Scots are the vibes, and the Haiti are there. Haiti did a lot, I think, this window to show they could be just a fun side to watch on the
Yeah.
side. But man, I think for Morocco getting out of this group, there's no excuse to not get out of this group, in my opinion. Not to say that it'll be easy. I think Scotland will offer a big, tough defensive battle. I think playing Ecuador um, will be will I think will show its merits there. Just like
Right.
Lord Parisa says, playing Ecuador is a tough team to beat, and that's true. And I think them because they can play in so many different ways, I think that only helps them. Their deep run at AFCON, I think, worked, and that was again, we have to bring up the pound. That wasn't with a healthy Hakimi. Hakimi played himself into fitness at that point.
Mm.
So come the end of the European season after Champions League finals, which we hope he makes it to, and then everything from there, you could have a healthy knocking on wood for injuries. I think that team could be firing on all cylinders for them. For them, is it just repeating? Do they have to up it? Do they have to make the finals for it to be a successful tournament for
Nah,
them? Because
I
it's
think
it's such a high
semi.
bar for
Yeah.
Morocco.
I think semi, and if they're able to perform maybe 70% of how they went to the semifinals,
Mhm.
I would think even if they were making to the quarter semi, might is will not be as back of a drop off. The final is any countries, I guess, other than maybe a handful of them, they expect to make to the final. So think semifinals for them, if they're able to make it there, that will be successful because it says we've not dropped off that much, or we're still a contender.
Mhm.
It's just that we happen to face someone that was a little bit better. So any African team that makes it to the semifinals, there's nothing to cry about that one.
No, that's true. And again, I think it'll be tough for them to repeat what they did, but at the same time, like I would say for them, I would be fine with a quarterfinal run. And again, because it's a round of 32, that's 3 wins, right?
Right.
Round of 32, round of 16, and then get to the quarterfinal. So three, yeah.
To the
I don't know how
quarterfinal
to
for
count
you.
anymore.
Yep.
I don't know how to count anymore. But yes,
Yeah.
I would say like them making the quarterfinals and semifinals, I think would be great for them. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it'd be
This group looks
32,
fun.
16 quarterfinals. Yeah, three to get to a third game after their group. I think that's a fair benchmark for them. Not to say that they can't get any further. I think quarterfinals would work well. And yeah, Lord for reason give me that quarterfinals as well for them, I think would be fair. I think so. I think they can push past that, but I think show me that you're real again, and I think they have the capability of doing that. Get to a point where you could almost repeat it. I think would be a success for them, and I would agree there. On the DRC point, there is no way Jamaica could be in Congo. I'm not. Look, all I'm going to say about this game is it wasn't the prettiest. There was like that stretch in the second half where Jamaica had like 4 straight corners. If they score there, I don't think they hold it, but still, I think that was their moment to do something. They couldn't do anything there, and then after that, it was just DRC was like, "Oh, by the way, guys, we have midfielders who can go into the space. By the way," and they finally scored. But that I think will be the intriguing thing for them. Let's jump back to the top of the groups because the the fun one, right? South Africa, right? South Africa, they're in a group with giving you this again with Mexico, South Korea, and Czechia. I mean, if you have South in your name, you didn't have a fun window. Right? South Korea took a beating.
Hmm.
South Africa draws and then loses to Panama, and it the one thing I I'll say that I worry about South Africa is they have a style of play that works. If only they had just they're talented. Don't get me wrong, but if they were just like a little bit more talented, like they would have it. And we've seen them in 2 straight AFCONs where they are playing the team that they're playing so well. And I'll always go back to the semifinals, the last not this current AFCON, but the one previous to that Cote d'Ivoire won.
Okay.
They were playing Nigeria so well, but they just their strikers could not finish. And I was like, give them a striker who can finish and all that movements. And it's like, listen, you have there. No one in Sundowns can score. There's no one in the Orlando Pirates you can find who can score.
Then maybe they need to go look at the other ones.
There's nowhere
There's
else to
only
look in
there's
Orlando,
more than two teams in there.
right? Lyle
But
Foster still like leading the line for them on paper. The interesting thing is, right now, I think Mexico feels like they should win this group. Yeah, and if I'm trying to farm for content, I could just be say like Mexico's not gonna do anything if I was trying to farm for content, but I'm not
well,
trying to do that.
already clipped it.
Yeah, someone's gonna come. It's like, who is this African who says that Mexico's not gonna win their group? Like, I know that's coming. Okay, I know someone, and you're gonna do it. It would be you,
No.
but at this point, and the key thing that we have to say is yes, the friendlies in March for the June starting World Cup have shown us a few things, some worrying signs. Can South Africa make it out of their group? Yes, they can make it out of their group. They're going to need finishing, which means we're going to have to be like, in Lyle, we trust, right? We're going to need that so much, but
Mm,
that team goes as realistically, this team goes as far as Ronan Williams takes them, right? Because if he can't make saves, their movement will look good. Their fluidity will look good. Their finishing will be a question mark. But if he gets beat
yeah, that
early and dare I say a little bit regularly, this team's right. And these are the stats for their game against Panama, and Panama wants to play them because they're going to be playing Ghana, and well, I'm leaving Ghana till the end because I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say about Ghana. But we get to South Africa. Like, what's your read on Bafana, and do you think they can get out of the group, or do you think this is the first African team that we've covered so far that you say get grouped?
no, I think realistic. Just looking at the teams, I think that one is might be one of the most open,
Mm-hmm.
groups because there's not two clear favorites, right? Because you always want to have the two and then the possible
Yeah.
three, depending on how well they do. And that here is like it will be a toss up on South Africa playing South Korea to see how they're able to get a win out of it. And then after that,
Mm-hmm.
who's the third team? I'm gonna get myself in trouble.
Chechia.
Yeah, it's such a so now you have to figure out it's those three that will technically on paper, those are the three that will have to battle it out for the second place and possible three.
Mm-hmm.
Then the question is, how is Mexico's going to perform? They have not performed the greatest at this moment. So
True. The thing with
that's
Mexico,
when
I
it
would
kind
say,
of gives the
yeah,
leeway of
mhm,
someone that might surprise us.
yeah, and like I think again, they are very much a goalie team. I think the thing, if you want to talk about Mexico, I think Mexico right now has the highest ceiling because I think defensively they're set. I think they're gonna approach this World Cup as a listen. We're just gonna not let you score as often as you want, and we're gonna take our chances. And look, if
On the
we win
counter.
every game 1-0, fine, we'll win every game 1-0. But then I think the nil is far more guaranteed for them for the opponents than them scoring one or them scoring multiple. I think their ceiling is the highest. I mean, their floor is the highest
Right.
because I think defensively they're solid. So for a team like South Africa, are you able to get? Are you going to be defensively solid enough to push through? Now, if you draw and lose to Panama, who I mean puts the I'm sorry, we'll go visual cues here. Puts the CONCACAF hat on and says, "Listen, Panama, I would say pound for pound, their coach is pound for pound the best coach in the region for the talent
Mhm.
that he has access to and what he's done with them. There's no doubt about that. But then they could, I think they're fighting for second, third.
Yeah, and
I think
technically
that's
that's
the
why it
ceiling
should
with
be on
them.
paper. Um,
Yeah, I,
but now,
I the more
but
yeah
you mentioned
if
Mexico
mhm,
being more defensively, right? So that means they're going to give South Africa, Chechnya, and South Korea more of the ball, which gives them more opportunities. So,
mhm.
how much are they willing to sit back? Because we've seen that South Africa, if you give them enough chances, they might miss the open ones. But if you give them
Oh,
those
but those
opportunities, they
Florida
might.
wonderful ones, yeah,
Yes. And we've seen it from the Chicago Fire defender, right? That did not come from their
yeah,
midfielders or their forwards. That comes from their best defenders that most South Africans say he shouldn't be in
yeah.
Chicago anyways. He should be somewhere in Europe. If they sit back that much, that will open the door for the more aggressive one. And
Mhm,
even to give South Korea some credits, their offensive play is a lot more stronger. So
mhm.
then that's where the whole toss up on who's going to wake up between those three and who will have the game of their life to unlock Mexico. So that's why I kind of give South Africa the
Yeah,
1 and 2, depending on how they wake up.
true. I think how they look this window, I would say right now in their group, I think they're battling for third. How they looked
Okay.
in this window for me. And that's nothing against the teams they played or how they looked, but you would have like my thing with them is against a team against the Panama, I think if and this is just my view on it, I think if they had lost to Panama 3-2, I would have felt a lot better. I know who the coach is, and I respect the Panamanian coach in that sense. But to me, it's always going to be goals for them. And if
True.
goals are going to be the struggle with they are forgetting, that's where the worry is. So I think if their goal, they're going to go as far as Ronan Williams takes them. But if they can't get consistent goal contributions, like you said, if your center back is scoring goals for you, that could just mean you're great at set pieces. Or it could just mean that he's taken the ball and said, Thanos, fine, I'll do it myself. Like it's one
Eh,
of those two things that are happening. And so for me, I think for how they look this window, I'm going to go they're battling for third in this group
You know
because,
what you just got yourself into, right?
yes, I know they'll come for me.
Because
It's fine.
they're good online. They will.
Oh, they'll find me. Oh, I don't listen. Okay, I don't worry about that. Okay, they'll find. Good. Come watch the rest of the content too. I appreciate you.
There you
Leave a
go.
like, comment, and subscribe. Right, and go to Mo's channel too. So I think for them, that's where it gets very interesting. I'll pull up a Santon's comment here. Mexico hosts Panama Nations League final and Gold Cup. Yes, both Mexico W's. Bafana's got to step up their game, and that's the thing. I think goalie wise, they'll be fine, but they need more. If I had seen them score more this window against Panama,
Mhm.
I would have felt a little bit better. But it just because it's the one goal, that's where I'm concerned in terms of what they could kind of show. Other African nation, we got Group E, Germany, Curacao, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ecuador. What it feels like we're all every African side has a CONCACAF side, like, yo, guys, welcome to this party. Let's go. But Cote d'Ivoire, I think we've said top three teams. You said Morocco, Senegal, and Algeria. Cote d'Ivoire is my team number three.
Okay.
And yes, maybe that's me reading way too much into what they did to South Korea. Maybe that's me, just enjoying their past run at AFCON. And then even this AFCON, they look decent, but they got 4-0 win over South Korea, then the 1-0 win over Scotland. And the 1-0 win over Scotland, to me, a team that is pretty much ranked where they are. FIFA ranking, Cote d'Ivoire are ranked 37th, Scotland are ranked 38th. So a like team that they would have beat. And Ecuador, I think, based off of the group that they're in, and also let's say another quiet thing out loud. Germany, the Switzerland game versus Germany was interesting to me because I'm like, Austria played well.
Mhm.
Is that Austria being a better than we give them credit for, or is that Germany not quite maybe being on that same machine that we're used to them being? It could be both. But
They're quite
Cote
old too.
d'Ivoire versus Germany, it isn't an impossible game for them. It'll be a fun
Mhm.
game, right? Ahmed Diallo, if Pepe stops, telling who he would and wouldn't add to teams, maybe
Yeah,
it could be a good one. Like when you look at Cote d'Ivoire, could they challenge for the top of Group E? Would it shock you if they topped Group E over
mm,
even a Germany and Ecuador and even a Curacao?
they wouldn't. Even though I didn't put them in my top three, right? Um, they're still like you were mentioning for South Africa. They have the firepower. They have the experience, and I think for them it's just a question of who will be stepping up to kind of carry it
Mm,
because they let Omar, carry the whole for the Afcon, right?
mhm.
Offensively, he will carry you, but defensively, there was still quite a few question mark. And See, kiss me. My question is, will he be healthy? And
It's a good
who's the
question.
goalkeeper that's going to step up? Because he's done all
Yeah.
right, but and that grading that he got is because he've had a lot of Scotland have had quite a few shots that he had to make
Yeah.
a save.
No, and
But
that's a very fair point. But it's a team that if you are familiar with them, you're like, okay, cool. And then if you actually know the depth and the talent of it, it's like, okay, yeah, yo, Traore, cool. Wahi, cool. Frank Kessie, yeah, Kessie is still there.
yeah,
Toure is still a thing. Diamonde is like, okay, wait. Okay, guys, this is a squad. And by the way, like Ahmad Diallo off the bench, Due off the bench, like it's a
where's
proper squad that look, it wouldn't shock me. I'll pick them to finish second in the group, but think I think they can definitely top this group, right? And that's and again, this is we're basing this off what we saw in this past window. And as a Ghanaian, I can tell you, listen, man, what you do to us is what you do to us. Listen, leave me. But they could definitely they could top this group. And the same question we asked before, we'll ask again for Cote d'Ivoire for this to be a successful World Cup. What's the benchmark? Where do they have to reach for you to turn around and say they had a good World Cup?
to be fair to them, I would probably say get out of the group.
Just the so round of 32.
Yeah, especially where with grace of God that they were able to win the Afcon before that, but uh, have not shown me just yet that they had
Yeah,
everything on
it's a
fire.
grace of Richard for you.
I think that's the only
Hmm.
thing. So still have
That's
a few
fair.
question
I
mark
get what you're
about
saying there.
their performance. Yeah.
Mhm. I think again, physically they'll be fine. That I think that Ecuador matchup will probably be the key between second and third to possibly even pushing further up. But they could top this group. It
Mhm.
wouldn't surprise me. But I'm still gonna pick right now based off of what they did. I think the question for me is can Kessier can he hold up in that midfield for them? Right? I think they have young depth off the bench. But it's like you need someone to really marshal that because against a team like a Germany, it's going to be like, oh, listen, Germany will be waves of okay. You want to deal with Gnabry? No, okay, cool. Then you can deal with um, then you can deal with Leonard Carl. And if you can't deal with Leonard Carl, then you'll deal with Florian Wirtz. If you can't deal with Florian Wirtz, then
They're stacked.
when Musiala is healthy, Musiala's coming. Look, if he can hold his own, I'm not saying dominate, but hold his own there, that opens a door for them. I think I think round of 16 for Cote d'Ivoire. I think that is to me success for them. Right,
All right, so
get out of the
you're
group,
nicer than
win
me.
a game, get to the round of 16. Yeah, I think that's where I would say would be their. That's a good level for them. Let's go next African side. We have Tunisia with Japan and Sweden because you know how sweet it is to know that if you lose all your games in World Cup qualifying, you can go to the playoff and beat two teams and be in America. Hey, listen, credit to Sweden, but Tunisia, listen. Coming into this, I was like, they're probably my team nine of the African sides. They are now my team eight to seven of the African sides because what South Africa did wasn't giving joy. And then, again,
Okay,
Ghana, my pain. We'll leave them to last because by the time we get to them, they will have two more announcements out.
you're
But
very kind.
Tunisia with Sweden, the Netherlands, and Japan,
Ooh.
you Yo, look. So for me, like the interesting thing with Tunisia is there's an interesting Canadian connection, which is Ryan Alumi, who's playing at the Vancouver Whitecaps. They called him in because it's like there's a pathway for him to be a, a contributor at 9 at this World Cup.
Mhm.
And my response to that is, listen, tough, tough. But that pathway is open. If you have Hannibal, you have the other Kadira brother. You're like, oh yeah, not, not the one who played for Germany, guys. Kadira number 2 is there. I think for them in this group, Japan, the Netherlands, then you're probably fighting it out with Sweden. I think just because of the group that they're in, this might be this might be the first side I look at and say, I don't know if they make it out of the group.
I hate to say it, but because I almost from the way I'm looking at that table is I almost will flip Japan and Sweden and then just leave it at that.
Mhm. Yeah.
But yeah, unfortunately,
And it's so tough.
but also we're talking because Sweden, you know who Sweden has as a striker from Liverpool, even though he has not had the greatest season, but Isaac is still a heck of a
Yeah.
striker. And I think he might be a menace to Tunisia and Japan and possibly so yeah, désolé les frérots tunisiens, but je crois que ils vont être quatrième. They will be finished last
It's
for those that
yeah.
don't speak French.
It's it's I think for them if they can get out of this group, it's a success.
Right.
As wild as a statement as it is, like if they get out of this group, it is a success. Because against when they played Haiti and like that was the thing. I got to watch both of the games over the window. And it's a fair point, fail central. They did tie Brazil not too long ago, so it's not impossible. Defensively, that's the thing that they have for them, right? They looked good defensively against Haiti, a Haiti side. Which I mean, which one are you going to get, right? And that's the Concacaf swapping. I'm gonna throw this over the hat again. Like there's the Concacaf aspect of I can't. I need a big hat for this. This is wild, but like Haiti will look great, and then all of a sudden they'll explode for like 6 goals, and then nothing from them again. Their most consistent was World Cup qualifying, so to get a 2-1 or a 1-0 win over them in the counter was great. Against Canada, you could argue they had the best chance in the game. If you missed it, they had a 2-0,
I missed it.
2-0, and then a hustling Liam Miller for Canada gets him and slides and blocks the empty net attempt, and it's like, oh. But defensively, they're gonna be that, and all that is all part of that is also Canada struggling against low blocks. Death taxes Tim Hortons and Canada struggling against low block. It's what we do. I think for them, success is getting out of this group. If they can get out of this group, which means they would. The tough thing is this: that what Japan did this window, we're looking at Japan being like, oh no, they're Japan and Netherlands, I think, did enough this winter. We're like, yeah, they're definitely top 2. So then it's a Sweden team. I think they could finish third. Tunisia, I think they can definitely finish third. They got a win and a draw. Again, if you look at these windows as if it's a World Cup, they're in the group. They have 4 points. They got 4 points without
Interesting
arguably
comment.
their best without Hannibal. Without Hannibal, so 4 points and with one game to spare. They could be a team that finishes in third, but then aren't one of the top 8 third place teams, and then that turns into you don't move on. They desperately will need to get something out of that Sweden game, right?
Which
Like
it's
if
not
you're
an
gonna try
easy
if you're gonna
task.
try to be like that like it would be you need a draw against who? The Netherlands or Japan? Pick me.
I
Which
don't know. I have Japan on the Asia side very high
mhm,
on my list of how they're going to perform. So that's why it was
mhm.
kind of a hard one here. But also is like the Netherlands is like they have the name behind it, but who do we know from there that's going to have a heck of a tournament?
That's the going to be the key thing to watch. And maybe it's Xavi Simons, maybe it's Cody Gakpo, maybe it's maybe Dumfries, from his wing back position is just causing havoc everywhere. But both their games that they played, Tunisia did. I have the Canada game up. They were defensively solid. I mean, your goalie's your best player in one game, and then they didn't give us the stats for the other one on Fatma, but that's fine. But like 58-42, two shots on target. The one big chance is the 2-0. Like if they finish this and the rest of the game stays the same, again in the window into the 4 points, that's 6 points. They're built for tournament football. Even the last World Cup, they got to win at the end, and they finished with I think 3 points. But they can get. They need 3 points versus Sweden. Is at the end of the day. But I'm gonna go with finishes third as their best case scenario. But then I think round of 32 is their best case scenario. I think my prediction right now is they finish in third, but then they don't. But they're not one of the top 8 third place teams, and because of that, they don't move on. Is that
That's
fair?
fair. Fair with me. It's
All
fair than
right,
what I give them. So yes.
that's true. That's true. Speaking of that, the last ride: Egypt, Belgium, Iran, New Zealand. On paper, Egypt should get out of this group. On paper, but is it
Yeah.
in second, or is it in third, or is it in first?
I'm trying not to get in trouble with JD. How about with that?
Listen, you two, y'all need to have a sit down and talk this out, okay? But you need to. I don't want to be the mediator, but you guys need to
I,
talk this out and
I
be
watched
like,
I
listen,
watched the live stream and um it is a 50-50 toss up that either Egypt or Belgium will top the group. And I give a slight edge to
hmm,
Egypt to top the group.
well, it's an African stream, so we're gonna say we use that as our excuse.
No, and the reason why the reason I'm looking at it is especially just watching the last 2 games, right? Yes, they destroyed the US. That's a whole
Yeah,
nother
Belgium did, yeah.
discussion.
Hmm.
But one thing that showed is that they were still able to unlock a lot of the Belgium defense.
Hmm.
And will Salah and Marmoush be able to do the same thing?
But
And if you give
that's
them chances,
mhm,
they will score more than one, more than 2 or 3.
yeah. But are they going to be forward enough to do that? And then what's left of Trezeguet as well. And they have a young 10, 8 to 10 who's at CAF. I mean at AFCON, who I'm like, okay, if he can unlock some things, he can do some stuff. But
But they will
that
have
will
to.
require them to actually want to play, right? Because I think Egypt's gonna treat this like Algeria will treat this, kind of how Tunisia will treat this, which is defensively solid. And then when we get the ball, we're going to put the ball into space where one of our 2 or 3 players can do something with it. And then we will pray we get our 1 or 2 and then go from there. I think
But
that's what they
then,
go for.
but then after that, if you think about
But
it,
then,
you're seeing Iran and New Zealand, right? Most
mhm,
likely, Belgium is going
and
to
that's the
butcher
thing.
one of them.
Belgium of of the 4 teams, is the one team that will say, listen, you can play a mid block, high block, low. To, qu- to quote Shannon Sharp, you can be low block, mid block, high block, Lakers in 5. Like Belgium are going to just say we're going for you, okay? And
Yeah.
so I think that's where it gets interesting will be when those other teams play each other. They
Mhm.
want to say Iran has a better defense than Egypt.
Well,
Is that fair?
there's one slight problem. At this moment, Iran
And that
is
is,
not playing.
yep.
So at this moment, there's the huge question mark on if they're technically at this moment they're not going.
They technically yes, Tec- and that's a fair point. If they are there, and this is all under the assumption that they
Okay,
are there.
yes, if all ifs, yes,
New Zealand will play defensively. Yeah, New Zealand will play
yeah,
defensively and encounter. Iran will play defensively and counter. Egypt will play defensively and counter. Belgium will just say,
just
"Listen,
all out.
yo, Doku, Jeremy, have a day."
Yes,
Tielemans, run the channels. Yo, De Bruyne, you may not have the pace, but your leg is still golden. Golden, maybe not, but gold, right? And so the talent up top, like I think second is a real possibility. Fairy Fail says it. Yeah, they can finish second in the group. It's a good group. It's a good group for them because everyone else will do their best to keep Belgium at a minimum. This is a group that I think you get like a two-way tie for. I don't see this being like there's a in the U17s men's they had a group that went every team finished with 4 points and it was goal difference that kind of split it up. I don't see that, but I think like two teams will be drawn at 5. I think two teams definitely are going to be at 5, and the difference will be like I think like Egypt. I could see Egypt and Morocco are I'm sorry, Egypt and Belgium. I don't know why I just said Morocco. Um, Legally, I'm required to say them. Every once in a while, every hour they have to come up. Um, I could see like Belgium and Egypt or Belgium and Iran finishing with like 5 points each,
hmm
and then goal difference because Belgium somehow like won a game 3-1 and Iran or Egypt won that game 2-1 instead. They go on and win the group. I think second should be them, but then again, with the same thing for the others, assuming that Marmouche is firing on all cylinders, Salah saving his legs from the season for this moment here, right? Trezeguet has one last ride. What's the ceiling for them for this to be successful? Is it just getting out of the group? Is it making the round of 16? Dare I say the quarterfinals? What for you is the ceiling for this group, for this team, for Egypt?
so that'll be 2 games, 32s, and beyond that,
Hmm.
that they will just play with house money.
32 and just house money, which is fair. For the record, I mean, they just casually drew. I mean, I say casually drew. They drew Spain in their last game.
Yeah,
You know?
that was not the story, but yes, they drew.
Oh yeah, that unfortunately that was not the story.
I didn't even
One of
know who
these
they were
days,
playing against till then.
yeah, we're just like, what? Who the? Oh, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Alas,
yeah, those things.
alas. Group H: Spain, Capo Verde, Saudi Arabia, Uruguay. Yo, Cape Verde. We're happy to have you here. As someone who's been on the Cape Verde, my dark horse team at AFCON for the last 3 editions of AFCON, I feel vindicated that Ryan Mendes has finally made a World Cup. I just wish it was last World Cup because like he'd be younger and have a little bit more legs.
Hmm.
But they did not have a fun window. Cape
Mhm.
Verde did not have a fun window. And that worries me in a sense. No one they are playing every game here with house money. No one expects them to get out of their group. They lost 4-2 to Chile, and then they drew Finland. Um, the 4-2 game had moments. I won't lie. It did have some positive moments, but team higher ranked than them because yeah, their first half started well. Like, cause they finished the first half up, excuse me, 2-1, and then Chile happened. Like Chile was just like Gutierrez, Loyola, Tapia, goal,
Get to it.
goal, goal. Ah,
Huh?
But
No, this is not a good one for them at all. And
no,
and the thing is that at this point now, Saudi Arabia have shown us that they can play soccer, and that if they play someone
they've shown us
that's
that they can. Yes.
and they show that if they play someone that's close enough to their caliber, and they have the most, I guess, aura driven coach in world soccer, I wouldn't be surprised if
Mhm.
they finish maybe third and covered last, and then you go, does he staying? And then the question mark will be how much goal Spain can, how much Spain they can conflict on on those three teams, which will come and kind of
Yeah.
determine who's going to be third.
I and that's a fair, good point. Good point. I think for them, I think they're hoping, for me at least, you're hoping that Saudi Arabia doesn't put it together. Because, again, as the comments do say, they did lose to Egypt 4-0. Saudi Arabia did. And so if you're Cape Verde, you're hoping, look, I think for me, success for them is leave the US with something.
Mhm.
Uh,
But
oh
that
gosh,
comment for
I just had a flash.
but for that
Mhm,
comment to Saudi Arabia though, if you remember at the last World Cup, everybody thought they were dead, and that the previous World Cup was their best ever, and then they decided to go and
mhm.
beat the current champion.
True. They had the only win versus Argentina
Right.
there. But
So a World Cup is the beauty of World Cup is that So that's why I try not to sell them too much just yet, because every time I underestimated them in previous World Cup, either they won a game or they've
mhm,
greatly showed that they're capable of winning. And now they've made it what in the last three World Cup now. So that's kind of shows where maybe to give them a little bit of that edge for the third place discussion.
Saudi Arabia has, yeah.
That's
Mhm.
that's why.
No, I think for them, I'd say for Cape Verde, you got to leave. Yeah, for Cape Verde, you got to leave with something. Whether it's a draw versus Saudi Arabia, whether it's a win versus Saudi Arabia, you got to pick up something and run with it. Right, get your
Or
win
a
and
good
get strip
showing.
the customs and get out.
Yeah. Or at least a good
True,
showing,
true.
right? Because usually your first World Cup
Mhm,
is either you do extremely well and then you make it as far as you can, or you earn your respect
mhm,
by not getting smacked in the face, right? If you're losing 1-2-0 or 2-1, some of those, as long as and they're going away present, should be that they at least have a goal in one of those three
yeah.
games. Make that one goal. If you don't win the rest, great. If you win one with a goal with you, then you might as well pack your stuff from there, because the God says you got what you needed and
You
go
That's the
home.
thing. You gotta give your fans something to celebrate, right? A
Yes.
and to like, I don't wanna go to the I don't even want it to be as extreme as it was, say, to use Canada as an example, right? Canada scores their first goal of the World Cup against Croatia, and let me tell you, for those 20 minutes, we were living on clouds.
Hey.
Listen, I was like, we scored a goal, and it was a good goal. We were happy, and then Croatia happened, right? Like if
Yes.
they score one, dare I say two, if they score one versus Uruguay, you're like, yo, they might actually, and then I was like, oh no. I think for them, like again, a goal and leave with something, whether it's a
Yes.
goal or a point or a win, they gotta leave with something. They gotta pick up
Agreed.
something and run with it. Algeria, 28th ranked
That's my
for
people.
FIFA. They got Argentina. It's the group of A's. Australia really could have been in this group, and I wouldn't have been mad because it's Algeria, Argentina, Austria, and Jordan. Listen, I saw what Austria did to Ghana. Okay. And I can confirm we were trash that day. Trash. That being said, Algeria had a good window, right? They beat Guatemala 7-0. They drew Uruguay. They still love their flares. This side, you pick them as your number three of the teams that could do something. This is your side. You got a lot of Algerian friends and family. This is a side that is starting that transition. They still have the names of old, right? You'll still see names of the likes of like Mahrez will be
Right.
around for a bit, right? You got Ait Nouri, who's still a thing. You got, Lucas Zidane in goal, Guri as your goalkeeper. But can they? And that's okay, Fury. So they have to finish first or third to avoid Spain. Third it is. Listen, or, I mean, go big, go first. When you look at Algeria, what's the ceiling for them? And when you look at their games, they drew Uruguay, then beat Guatemala. What did you like about what you looked at and saw from them this window?
Sure, they were more offensive than they did during the calf. I think that was like the biggest takeaway was that they
This is
didn't
true.
just sit back and counter. And I don't know if
Mm,
it's watching the tapes and come back and says, "Hey, we shouldn't be waiting to have that one player that does the extremely well, I know, good run and then golazo of the tournament." But I think now
mhm.
you could see they're a lot more fluid. The passes work a lot cleaner, and they were having a lot more fun versus just sitting back. Because you do not score 7 goals by just saying, well, let's just sit and possess the ball and hope for the best.
No, agreed.
But then
Right.
the question is then a certain player that has a very famous last name in goal, that will be your true welcome to like top class football with that name. Because your pops will be watching.
So for you, is that the key? Is it all goalkeeping? Lucas Zidane, if he
He
can be
has to.
solid, yeah.
He had
With
more
with
than
the
solid.
Yeah, he's got to be an A student.
Yeah. Hey, that goes right with with the group.
I'll see myself out. Thank you,
There
thank
you
you.
go.
No, but that's fair. I would say also again as a team that will probably defend and then try to counter. How much can they soak up before they attack? Mahrez feels like he has maybe in every game 45, 50, 45 probably is a good number, but probably 50 to 60 minutes. That's all he has in it. Can he be effective in those moments? They're not going to try to play track meets with him on the pitch, I would assume. He's not that player anymore. But I think they're sealing this group a second,
Yeah, close second. Yeah.
right?
But they cannot have a bad game.
No, they can't have a bad game. I think having Jordan in the group is definitely gonna help. And then now, thanks to that statement, Jordan's gonna come out and be like, respect us.
Yeah. No one talks about me.
Right? How'd you oh, that's true. No,
Whoa.
you
Well, hey,
that's a fair
don't
point. You are
don't.
you are Algerian. I'm like, yeah, Haji Musa is better than Mahrez. Riyad needs to come off the bench. I think it's a fair point. I think if you ask him to come off the bench at like that 60th minute, right? I always I when I look at veterans at this point of their career, I always think of them as they're the people, they're your break glass in case you need them, right? I will always be one who will start youth if it's not going well. You have veterans who can steady the ship
Right.
afterwards. But if I put in my veterans and that composure goes out the window, I'm like, well, kid, welcome to the fire. Get in
Yes.
there.
I don't know.
But
Mars is
yeah,
close to, you know.
no, of course, of
He,
course,
he
of
it's
course.
a neighborhood kid from my old
Yeah,
neighborhood of Sarcelles. So, but yes, he's right. The youthness of Of course, he has the name Musa. Come on, that.
Mm-hmm.
But
No, agreed. What's their ceiling for you? Is it round of 16,
oh,
win a round in the round of 32, and then get to the round of 16? That's success.
32.
Okay, so just get out of the group and that's success.
Yeah, I would say 32. Yes, and I wouldn't be too surprised depending on who they play against. But
Mm-hmm.
32 will be the realistic one, depending on who they're playing. 16, but I don't think past 16. That's where the elite starts showing up.
Yeah, like, and a lot of these will be matchups, right? It's styles versus it's contrasting styles and how they blend or don't blend. Respect. Yeah, I see you, fairy fails. We respect this. Yep. But I think at the
Hey,
end of the day, it's styles, right? And I think for them, getting to the round of 16 would be great for them. Again, but it comes down to what the matchup is. I think they should get out of the group. To me, they should get out of the group, whether that's second or third. If they top this group, I mean, listen, y'all can have whatever you want on my whatever my credit allows to give. Okay, that's all I can offer you, my credits. Okay, that's it. But I think for me, that's success, right? I think they get out of the group and then get to the round of 16. I think that would be ideal for them. Then we have back after back with a new name, but living life. Welcome back to the party. DR Congo are with
they're going to
Portugal,
top the group.
Uzbekistan, and Colombia. Oh yeah. Portugal who? Ah,
Colombia, who you know,
Uzbekistan. We will respect you. You guys are new too. But they are like
mm,
DRC is a side that I've wanted to make the World Cup for a year, for the last two cycles. The problem with them is, again, I affectionately call them Spurs of Africa. When big moments happen,
ouch.
they don't. They're just. Ugh. But they're
Uh,
built for teams, and I'm telling you, if any of the teams watch their final against Jamaica and say, "Oh, this is the team we're getting," no, no, you'll get them healthy and they're going to push. I This may be a wild take. I expect them to finish second in this group. I expect them to finish second. I think they're bad. This is a very tough group,
mhm.
and so I don't
Uzbekistan
think
is
it's going to
not
be.
one to take lightly.
I agree. If you followed youth football, you've seen Uzbekistan at the U17 and at the U20 level, and you're like, okay, no, you've seen some of these names. They're there. Colombia doesn't matter what if it's James in the form of his life, if it's Luis Diaz in his Bayern form of fun, they're going to be a tough
Rodriguez.
team,
Yeah,
right?
he's kind of sick right now, so who knows how healthy he's going to be. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's
Portugal,
there's
if
such
they
a
bring, yeah, if they bring C7, I'm like, then we have a chance. If they don't bring him, it's like, oh, you can use the actual talent. I'm not saying that he's not talented. See, that's the statements that get me canceled. When I say stuff like that, then they'll be like,
you said it.
"What does he know?" But
This one is almost like a toss up, though. It's one of those fun ones where
it's a legitimate group of death for me because I think all four teams are legitimately ready. Like, I don't. If you shook up this group and it landed in any way, I would be like, yeah, I could see that happening.
yeah,
These four teams, shake them up, throw them wherever they land. I think it is. Can DR Congo get out of this group, in your opinion?
yes. And I think for me, it depends on just one single game. It's against Portugal
Oh, okay.
because we know how crazy they are, right? with the possession and the finesse
The
of
Portugal game is
Portugal,
what you're basing this off of?
yes. Because you know how they're aggressive physical team, right? Portugal is more of a
Yes.
finesse tactical team. So if Portugal is able to unlock them, frustrate them, then it might be a 3-0 game. But if the Congo is able to use that physicality to kind of take the lighter Fernandez and Felix, and they
Mhm.
pull a game just like against Senegal, then I wouldn't be surprised if they're either first or second. But then is for Colombia is Rodriguez will be that healthy in having one of those moments. Like this one, I'm not too sure. And if Ronaldo's gonna be there, yes or no.
Mhm. That's
But
fair.
yeah, they'll get out. I'll give him second. I'll give Portugal, DR Congo, Colombia, Uzbekistan. My apologies, but
No,
that's how I
that's
see it.
fair. I think health will matter for them. You need Siddiqui healthy. That'll be great. They have midfield bodies which are interesting to me because I think they could like when they made midfield changes against Jamaica and Jamaica was defending how, loose like a loose woman they were defending. Um I'm
That's a
sorry.
clip.
Yeah, listen. They don't like me right now. I'm gonna run up that credit score. But like I think against like it's tough, and I don't know if they have they don't have pre World Cup friendlies yet,
Hmm.
but who they play coming into this World Cup, that's going to matter a lot because how they look against those teams, because it's a different step up in competition is the thing, right? They're going from playing like these are their last. It's all due respect to them, friendlies and all. These are their last 8 friendly games they've played, or 8 games overall. They have the 4-3 win over Nigeria in the World Cup qualifiers. Then they beat Zambia, Benin. They draw Senegal, Botswana. That's AFCON. They lose to Algeria at AFCON. They beat Bermuda in a friendly, and then they beat Jamaica in additional added time. They need they need a team to play that isn't African, and with all due respect to them, isn't CONCACAF.
Yeah, they need a
Like
European. I don't even see
they
one
need to
anywhere.
play someone. Like this actually now makes me think there's one team now that I'm now because they're coming, but I don't know what their schedule is. They're playing Canada before they go, so they have one game. Okay, this will be interesting. Like a team like Ireland. I don't know what Ireland's schedule is, but I bring them up because a team that'll be solid defensively and have attacking counter options, if they can play like a team like Ireland before and then look good against them, then I'll feel better about them playing the likes of yes, Portugal isn't Ireland, I know, but hey, Ireland beat Portugal, so
Yeah, but Ireland
um
is also like the working class European, tough
yeah,
compared to the greediness of the British, empire.
ye-
That's what's
no,
not
agreed.
that's what's missing in here. Like I'm looking all the way up to
Mhm.
what June 8th of last year.
Yep.
I don't see any like Eastern, Western, Nordic teams. I don't see any of
No,
it.
just African teams, right? African
Yeah,
friendlies and African
yeah.
teams.
So there's
And so like
African.
they need a team. Like
Yeah,
they need someone to play. But for them, can they get out of this group? And if so, what's their ceiling? What's success for them in this tournament?
I get out
Are
of the group.
they get out of the group of
Yeah,
success?
yeah. You do that, they all go home as like
Mm,
they won the World Cup.
I would agree with that. I think this team can reach the round of 16. listen,
dude.
Wissa played at Brentford for how many years? Where his team had to just to defend, and then he was given the ball, and Mbeumo was given the ball, or Ivan Toney was given the ball. They said, "Look, man, this is how we're gonna win these games. So score."
They make it to the
If they
16,
come
they
with,
will celebrate like they won
if they make it
5
this,
World Cup.
if they make it to 16, Congo will be like, listen, like one of them needs to take a mic and be like, hey, avec des élections, okay? Tout le monde, arrête, mettez les armes avec des élections, okay? Like one
L'année
of them needs to do
prochaine,
that.
vacation, holiday, all next year.
Bring in Drogba for that. Hey,
And
laissez les armes,
hopefully
élections.
the legend will be in the US for that too.
I would hope so. I would
They
truly
have plenty
hope
of time
so.
to do it.
Indeed. But yeah,
Okay.
I think they could reach round 16, but like you said, get out of the group, round of 32. They're kings. They are
Yes.
kings. Um, and then final, last, but currently the least, Ghana.
And no, the World Cup is
You know
not
what? You
going
talk
home.
about them. You you talk about them right now. Okay, I'm going to
Hey,
see
they
if the
had such a
GFA
great
has
break.
updated anything.
They had a huge break. They had time to reconvene, talk to each other, watch tape. They've the last 2 games, there was a little excitement. They got cheated out of the Germany game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that PK was soft. That like the handball. That shouldn't.
It's
It's
a
not like you
hand.
can put your
Like
hand
here's the
where.
problem with it. Okay, but okay on that handball. So this is the thing. He's both right and he's also wrong, right? Because what
It's
happens, and we're talking about the PK that
the first one, yeah.
very listen, no. I've watched this team and I've made my no. I listen. The problem with this team is encourage no, this is okay, I'll be the most optimistic I can be about this team. All right?
Yeah.
This is the worst that they can look.
You sure?
The worst we can look, and we almost escaped Germany with a draw.
Should have.
We didn't have our we didn't have our best player. We we didn't have some of our best forwards, and we could have left this with a draw.
Mm-hmm.
Our best CDM probably shouldn't be playing with us for legal reasons, but hey, he's in good spirits. That's me being most optimistic. The worst case scenario I'll say about this team is they are 2014 Brazil without Neymar. There's names on the roster, but 7-1 awaits them. 4-1 awaits
Yeah.
them. What do I say about Ghana? You need to say something as I look to see if Ghana's updated anything.
Hey, their jersey is nice. And no,
It's a
there's no
nice jersey.
update yet. Everybody's still. If they can pull it, it will be a fun one. Does he even speak French?
Mm.
That's gonna be interesting.
No? Or
Yes. I don't know that. Still not too fond about
yeah.
foreign
I
coaches that don't have much of a tie. Because I think this one is almost like a left side selection. But
any selection at this point is a left side selection.
so I think they will get you know what? They will get out of the group. The way I see it is most likely second
Over who?
over Croatia.
That you sir are optimistic. Okay. So
It's
here's my
recorded.
yeah, I know. I know. Oh, I know.
Croatia's playing with
Here's
house money has expired.
if Croatia's money has expired, our money never existed.
No, I'm
Okay,
saying
if that
they're old. Croatia's old.
true,
If if
and
Ghana cannot
okay,
outrun Croatia, cannot outmuscle Croatia, then they
good. You
better go
said it.
home.
Okay, good. You said the thing. You said the important thing, and this is where I'm gonna say, okay, we're gonna be the most Ghanaian that I can. Okay,
Please do.
right. Right, we're gonna get into character. Okay, we see. Okay,
Oh boy.
we got a little,
Oh, oh.
we got a little full kente cloth. Okay,
Hey,
some
he went
faux
all the
kente
way.
cloth. Okay. Listen, for Ghana to be successful at this World Cup, in my opinion, they're gonna have to do two things, and I know one will be very difficult for them to want to do. So I'm gonna say do one of two things. I think they have to figure out what they're gonna do at striker, and
Oh boy.
the problem is Ghana as a team have wingers for days, right? Kamaldeen Suleimana, Ernest Nuama, Fatawu, right? Antoine Semenyo. That's four wingers. Oh, I'm sorry, Iñaki Williams. Five wingers who can play out wide there. I think out of them, if you're gonna try to get all as many of your best players onto the pitch at the same time, I would say for Ghana they have to play a 3-4-3, and you put Semenyo as your striker.
Which wouldn't be too bad of an option.
Yeah. Then you put Iñaki on one side, and then you put either Fatawu, you put either Ernest, you put um, any of the other wingers I haven't that I mentioned before. You put them there. There's that many. You run that. You have Kudus in your midfield as your 10. Caleb Urenchi, who's playing as your center back, put him as a wing, as a midfielder, and you pray you find a third center back. Alexander G. Coop, Patrick Pfeiffer, and Brian Brobe's little bro, our big bro, put him there. And then you also, other thing, you listen, Tariq Lamptey's got to be healthy. Tariq Lamptey has
Listen,
to be
boy.
healthy.
It's a big question
I
mark
mean,
on that one.
we've been asking that for 4 years. He's got to be healthy. Gideon Mensah on the other as the other wing back. They can't go a back four because their fullbacks go 2 for 4 up. And so you play back three, you give yourself basically the wide plus the 3, 5, and then 6 with Kudus carrying the ball. This team is built to be a mid-block transition team. They can't be pressing. They don't have the length to do, but if they can stay compact and then press and cut it off, and then on the transition, they're there. The problem, as they are currently built, is Thomas Partey doesn't have the form that he needs. Now he has 2 months to get there. That's the best case
Yeah.
scenario. Andre Ayew is the captain, so that's
Yeah.
that. I don't think he should be the captain. I don't think he should be starting. If you want him on the team because you think he needs veteran leadership, cool. Put him on the team. But I don't think he should be starting. That team is built to be a running team. And if they run, if they pressure and they run, I think the Panama game will be a little bit tricky because Panama's a better passing team than they'll give them credit for. But Ghana's more talented. If you want to be the most optimistic for Ghana, it's they finish second because again, you get something out of the Croatia game and you have to beat Panama.
Yeah,
You
that's not
have
even a
to
question.
beat Panama. And so for me,
Uh,
their ceiling, best case scenario, because I'm going to give you a worst case scenario, to their best case scenario, I think is round of 16. You get out of the group, you win a game, and then you face another top team, and then from there it's house money, like you said. Their worst case scenario, they go over. They go over and they get grouped. Because there's a scenario where they lose to Panama. There's a realistic scenario that they lose to Croatia and England. I don't want to see Kobe Manu on this team. I don't want to see Kobe Manu do this to us. I don't want to see that. But for you,
Uh,
when you look at Ghana, like what's the thing you think they're missing as the outsider looking at them?
I don't know if I will say missing. It's Kudus probably be have a what he's able to do at West Ham. Can he
Mhm,
duplicate that on the world stage? Because I think every African team that we've talked about, one staple player that we always look into is their midfielders. Like, the maestro that's helping,
mhm.
go towards the defense to carry the ball up. Each African teams have one at this moment that's been able to perform. I don't know if Kudus have been able to reproduce that from his club to nation nation.
Mhm.
I think that's. But hey, there,
It'll be interesting. Yeah.
yeah,
Based off
I
like we said, I think if you want to be optimistic about Ghana, like like they don't have someone like Kudus, and that's fine. You're not going to have that type of a player like that. But I think
so someone has to do it.
Yo.
Wow,
I needed that laugh.
wow,
Thank you.
who's that? Who said just because of what happened in Africa doesn't mean they can't reach some of? Is that from Morocco? Wow, somebody's coming for fire. Who
That
sent Earlo?
hey, he's on your stream, my guy. He's not on my stream. But to the point,
Yeah,
okay,
I'm
hopefully they
gonna
make
find him, but somebody wants to try and start fire because last I checked, the last country to beat a world champion, it's Senegal.
we had a peaceful stream and now we're
Yes, we
choosing
did. I don't
violence.
know who that is.
Listen, Ugandan ref is finding his whistle. He's like, listen, it's time to
Yeah,
call
yeah,
this
he's
game.
hiding somewhere. He's not in Africa. I can tell you that. That referee is not in Africa now. Um,
No,
but yes.
but I think yeah, like I think to the point where it's interesting.
Oh, try harder. Oh,
What we were anyways. I'll let that slide because I'm letting it slide. Like I think right.
I made someone mad.
Well, hey, I guess we're doing our job. I think for like again, like for Ghana, like if you want to be optimistic about them, this is the worst that they've looked, and so
Yeah.
it can only get better, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yes. After that whooping that the US
Uh,
gave him.
after the Austrians did to them, he was just like, "Ooh,
So
weren't ready
hopefully
for
they're
that."
bruised. Yeah, hopefully they're bruised enough, their ego, that they don't want that to happen again when the whole
Mhm.
world is watching.
No, yeah, and I think that's where I'm curious to see kind of what they're able to do. But I think for Ghana, best case is round of 16. I don't think that's. I
Yeah,
think success for them is yeah. I think success is getting out of the group and winning a game. I think that is success for them. So getting to the round of 16 ultimately. But
I'll
that
go with
being
that.
said, we've run through all 10 African teams. Have we? Do you think we've been able to change our minds on any of the teams? Or where their groups are and what they could do.
No,
Like
I think it's just DR that just showed up. But I think we've been
DR is
pretty
your wild card.
consistent.
Yeah,
I think we're being
that's
pretty
fair.
consistent on who. South Africa, I think they're the one that we waiting to see which
Mhm.
one we get. But
That's
I
fair.
wouldn't be surprised if they're second.
It'll be tough to again if they get the finishing. I think that helps them. I think that was the one thing, like I said earlier, that was disappointed, and they didn't get as consistent finishing that I would say I feel confident against, and that's where I think for them that's where they are. Morocco again. Second to first, top in the group, I think is possible. I think again, like we said, for them, I think success for them is the quarterfinals. I mean, yeah, it's the quarterfinals. They reached the quarterfinals again. I think for me, that's success. If you're Moroccan, you might disagree, but I think reaching the quarterfinals of this World Cup, I think, is a success for them. Uh, Cote d'Ivoire, I have them as round of 16,
Hmm.
getting out. Tunisia, getting out of the group is success for them. Egypt, matchups
You know,
again, like yeah, round of 32 would be good. Cape Verde, leave with something, a goal, a point, a podium. You know, I'll make the joke here. Yeah, go. You guys take a towel. You guys steal towels. Leave with
oh,
something. Yeah, too soon. Too soon. Yeah, no,
you
I'm
did
willing
it.
to.
It wasn't me. It was not the Senegalese guy. That's all.
Don't do it. Senegal. I think quarterfinals. Um, would
Sammy.
be you're going semis. Yeah, because they have to outdo
Yeah.
that. I get your logic there. Okay, cool. Algeria, I think round
Close second.
round of 16, getting out of the group possibly in second place can do. DR Congo, put that group in a bottle, shake it up. Whoever finishes there finishes where
House money.
house money. And Ghana, my goodness, look
House
better than
money.
what you did.
Yes.
House money, floor money, couch money, money. Jeez.
Under the
But that's what
couch
we got.
money. Yeah.
But that's what we got, guys. If you're on this rewatch, let us know what you think is the success. Like, what you think will be success for the country you're rooting for, right? Let us know that in the comments. But then also, who are the teams you are hoping to get good performances from this World Cup? We went through all 10 teams. We didn't go too detailed. We just want to look at kind of what they did in their friendlies. Come closer to the World Cup, we'll have a bigger discussion. I have to figure out what Ghana's doing because hey, there are 48 countries in this World Cup, and technically, oh, I'm sorry, that's a lie. 46 don't have a coach. My bad. 40 Saudi Arabia. Shout out to your people. Saudi Arabia and
Yeah.
Ghana. We could have taken her right now, but no.
But I guess, but also special shout out though to Bosnia for making it to the World Cup after beating
Yes,
Italy.
good for and Iraq.
Yes,
Iraq
and Iraq,
qualifying
yes,
for the first
and
time in many years.
yes,
Yeah.
and all these Euro snubs. You can take that. Yes, I'm European too, but there's been too much talk of why African teams have too many, why this and this and that. Take that. We have 10, and if African countries continue to do well like this,
Hmm.
those numbers will increase.
No, that's true. And again, for people who are complaining about who made it, in the same way, I'll say the same thing to everyone. Look, Nigerians were complaining too. All I'm going to say is you just don't draw Lesotho, and you're in the World Cup.
Win your
And then
games and no
exactly,
complaint.
win your games, no complaints. That's all there is to it. But
Yes.
we're gonna wrap this up here. We've gone the appropriate amount of additional time, 13
Nice.
additional minutes. This is the
Nice.
FIFA way. We had no hydration breaks. We should have had a hydration break to simulate.
We're, we're African. We got this.
This is true. All right, Mo, I'm gonna leave you to it. But guys, we will. It's on his channel, so you guys can follow there. If not, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, leave a comments afterwards as well. And as always, we're gonna stop talking right